But no, I gotta.
Deze is van Scoopie als een test.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Dawes. Let's do this, guys. We are kind of late, but someone wanted to make us later.
Coming in
It's
hot.
all right. I told him, hey, just you'll be all right, man. You'll be okay. We'll make this thing work like we do every week. And again, guys, just want to thank all you guys for your support of our show for well over 5 years, and it's been pretty exciting to do this each and every week with you guys. And it's kind of funny, no matter if you guys are watching live or you heard about what we said or you're listening to the podcast, you go back, watch it later. You guys continue to support and share great things about the show. So we thank you, and we're definitely blessed for that. So man, so
Absolutely, I love it. That's my favorite time. Even back when we were in the Wednesdays, it was like get geared up. Here we go. But
yeah, I miss the Wednesdays.
Wednesdays were cool. I know, because once we get into it, this takes away from your wrestling nights. I'm aware.
But yeah, especially like next week, or Raw's going to Netflix, man. So it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. So I may have to have like the other computer right here watching. Now
it's crazy.
When I first on Wednesday, I was watching AEW Dynamite because it was a brand new wrestling show. So either way, it was in my wrestling. So.
Well, here's what's nutty, right? So, where we live, listen, I don't ever want to move from here. I know there's a lot of people that are in Illinois that have they're like, I don't get out of Illinois taxes, Illinois this. I'm going to tell you, you got to live somewhere. I get it. Taxes are absolutely criminal. It doesn't matter. I don't care what you think about it. It is criminal. I get it. But you got to live somewhere. And this is a great place to live. And I'm going to tell you why. We just talk about your wrestling. Allstate Arena is not that far from the house.
Nope.
And isn't that where they do? Isn't that where they do Raw?
Well, they have a lot of shows. Yeah.
They do a lot of them there, right?
They do a lot of there. Also, AEW has a lot of events there. There's so many places that they have. Chicago's a hotbed for it.
So there's just tons of things to do out here. So
Pro Wrestling Tees. There's a T-shirt shop in Chicago that's just called Pro Wrestling Tees. That
you see what I mean?
All they have, and they make a bank. They make a killing.
And okay, so here's another example along those lines of hey, there's this thing that we have an opportunity to do that most people, wherever you live, you may not have the same opportunity. So everybody knows I love the NBA. Skull Vikes, baby. Still repping my Vikes gear, which I got some stuff to tell you about that, by the way. But anyway, so everybody knows I love the NBA. Okay. But there's also the NBA G League. So every pro team has a G League or D League affiliate, right? But they're not usually you can't really go to them, right? Example, the Minnesota Timberwolves, my favorite team, their G League is the Iowa Wolves. Yeah, not ever going to that. It would never, that's not going to happen, right? But Chicago Bulls G League is the Windy City Bulls. And it's actually closer to my house.
Nice.
Jeff, it was an amazing experience. If you just want your kids to expose them to a basketball game and have them absolutely love it, this is it. Listen to this. Listen to what happened. Did I not tell you about this? Okay, listen to this. So I take the family, okay, there's 5 of us, and for $15, right, I can get like third row seats. And I'm like, whoa, excuse me, what? Right? So then I'm like, for second row, they're $25 a seat. Okay. So I'm like, well, I'll do that. All right, whatever. But then when you get there, they give you a $10 food voucher per ticket. So it was still
Wow.
$15 a seat.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's
And,
crazy.
and they play at great times too. Like, so yeah, there'll be like 7 p.m. games, but then they also they get it. They're like, this is a lot of kids are gonna be here. So yeah, we went there on like a Sunday afternoon at like 2 o'clock.
Nice.
How cool is that, right?
That's cool.
I actually even when I would go to T-Wolves games, I would love going to Sunday games. Sunday games were super cool, but that was
Yeah.
only like February and March because
Yeah.
NFL owns Sundays.
Right. No, that's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've been. I thought I went to one years ago when I was younger, but it's been a long time since I've been to something like
Won
that.
what? A G League?
Yeah, but now I mean the other experience. I mean I've been to several Harlem Globetrotters. Like that was always a fun thing to go and take the kids.
I have done one of those.
Yeah.
Several. That's man, you got really like dribbling.
Yeah.
you you don't have to like a lot of scoring. You know, really like dribbling if you want to go to go to several Globetrotters games.
Yeah.
And you must hate the Generals.
What I watched recently, like the And One documentary.
Oh man.
And so like just I always thought it'd be cool to go to something like that to just see that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of the same thing though.
Yeah, that was really cool. So
Yeah.
around that time, so I used to play a lot of street ball. Just like there's certain areas where it's like you can play, and there's certain areas where it's like,
Right.
this might be a little rough for you, right? So it's like, what's the point? I'm not gonna do that. But around that time, if you could dunk, everybody did. All right. Because of that, nobody was shooting threes. Shooting threes, you would get like if you missed 2 threes, they would not get the ball past you. No one would pick you. You weren't playing because that's not the kind of ball it is. It
Right.
was fun basketball. And if anybody's got like a gripe on the NBA today, and I have some, even though I love it, it's they shoot way too many threes. It does not make sense. It does not work. They're not scoring more than they did 10 years ago, 20 years ago. They're not. If they were scoring 180 points a game, then you go, oh, well, I guess this kind of makes sense. They're not. They're not. It's the same as it was, in 2002. So what's the difference? Don't get me going. I'm going to stop myself. Okay.
Yeah, because you're flip flopping again.
I know, but no. The talent level is better. Don't mess around. It
Okay.
is. It is. It is.
Hey, zip it. All right. All right. So guys, we before we get into our awards and just the different people, our favorites of the year.
Yeah.
And I think we I don't know. I think I named them the Scoopies one year and said, hey, let's stick with that. It sounds kind of silly, but yes, the new tracksuit is fire. It's definitely it's thick too, so we won't be cold. Camps, there were a lot of camps over the weekend, last week, all over the place. I got back last night at midnight. I drove from Michigan by myself back here, so I left at about 12 p.m.
You stop this driving stuff.
And then got home at like 11:45 p.m. So 10 hours of driving, but and then stopping through. And then the thing is, like, I have to go through all the mountains of West Virginia after going through all the flatlands of Ohio, which were like flooding, and it was wild, man. So in the last hour, what people don't know, I'm going 25 miles an hour on a mountain going like this in dark. Yeah.
So, but that's my question to you and any other insider who's like, I'm a road trip guy. What's the level? What's the point where you're like, I won't do that? You know what I mean? And that's what I want to know. Like, what's the point where you're like, okay, I could do a lot of road trips, but I won't do that. What is that for you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, if it gets past 10 hours, that's where I'm like, yeah, there's no way of driving by myself.
Didn't you
And
just do
really,
that?
I don't even want to do that. You know what I mean? Um,
I've never done that. I don't even
I,
want to be a passenger in a car that actually I have. I've been a
if I,
passenger in a vehicle, but I've never driven that long.
yeah, because I used to drive to Jessup, Georgia, and Savannah, and those for like Corky's tournament, and by myself, and that would be a really long one, especially on the way back. The way back is usually the hardest. This weekend, it was different. I actually was awake, felt pretty good on the way back. I wasn't as sore as I was last year. I didn't do 2,000 kicks like I did last year. I did only 750 this time. Plus, we did a lot of other stuff. So, Revolution Camp was a lot of fun. I had them doing, lots of kicking drills, lots of stance drills. And then we broke up into a lot of different sections based on things. So I tell you what, it's really cool that now we're getting more and more people that are wanting to learn Korean forms. And this camp, I had a lot of people wanting more and more of that. And I got to teach some nunchucks as well. So it was a lot of fun. And then we were working on some team stuff as well. So it was a busy weekend, lots of fun, lots of big things happening at our camp. There was a lot of great camps this weekend. I know Amerikick had one. They had one in the East Coast, and they also had their kata mastery one over at Jarrett
Kata
School.
mastery. All
Yeah,
right.
that's
Sounds
and
dope.
and then they had. Sorry, this is weird. Like I'm talking right now as I'm seeing my form on the screen in this video.
What form are you talking about?
So I got a flat screen TV to put on the thing and just have like YouTube videos going, and I have like the Battle of Atlanta or something going, like finals going. So it's just kind of funny. All right.
You notice the
Um,
TVs, it's not like a high ticket item anymore.
no, I know. Like I got this one, like
You ever notice that like it used to be
179. Yeah.
like it used to be like a joke, like, oh yeah, just bought this new 80-inch screen TV, and you'd be like, what? You must have spent $10,000. And you're like, no, it's $250.
Yeah.
It's just interesting.
All right. So also we had the camp so Ariel Torres had a camp in Miami. Infinity Camp, has theirs every year, aka camp, Warrior Cup. CE had their big camp. And I'm trying to think of any others, guys. If you were at another camp, let us know how it was and what you enjoyed about it. And because again, it's a really cool thing that happens every year. And I think a lot of them are continuing to grow, continuing to get better. So I think it's going to be pretty cool. The more we see this part grow. I think I don't know if the winter time is better or if the summertime is better. I think some of the ones are doing both. I do. I mean, it is rough for me the day after Christmas having to drive somewhere. Maybe I'll fly next year. So I think also there's a day limit, like maybe make it 2 days or make it a day and a half or something.
Well, I mean, it all depends. If there's like ones that like, all right, it's a 5-day camp, but you can sign up for 2.
Right.
You know what I mean? Example. I don't know if Jotty still does his camp, if maybe he just keeps it more in house. I didn't think he still did. But that was one of the more impressive camps I'd ever seen, and I didn't actually get to see it with my own 2 eyes. Right? And one of the things that I thought was so cool about what he did with his camp is that all of the guys who would teach for 1 day in the camp, they would take the rest of the days. They would be a participant, right?
Right. Exactly. That's the
and
biggest.
Would be excited about it too. So it was really cool. And maybe not all of them did. Like, he had Ray there. Maybe Ray didn't take, Ross Levine's seminar. Maybe he did. I have no idea,
Yeah.
but I know that some of the other guys did. and you'd see them in videos, and then I'd hear stories, I'd talk to them afterwards, and they were like legitimately excited about it, which was super cool, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then it just sets the tone and creates a culture that like nobody's too good to be a student.
Right. Right. Yeah. So we'd love to hear again, guys. As we go, you can share your experiences of camps. I mean, I think one of the first ones besides Jotty was the AKA, winter camp, as well as the Infinity one's been around for a long time too. So,
Right.
All right. So we're gonna get into our awards.
Whoa. Before we do that, we need to talk about this. How are we not going to talk about this?
What,
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Nothing? You got no stories for me? You got nothing?
Dude, it's all a blur now. I had Christmas.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, and then I went right on the road after that, and drove 10 hours. So it was like, yeah, man, it was a great Christmas. You showed me a video. No, you sent me a video of like all the
That wasn't
paper
all.
in
That
the-
wasn't
yeah,
all.
just a pile in the hallway
Yeah.
of all the paper. I'm sure you guys had a blast.
We burned all that stuff, man.
Oh yeah, nice.
When you think about it, I'm like, I can't do this. And they're all what Jeff's talking about is I took a video and I was just saying happy birthday, Merry Christmas. And then I was just walking around my house and I just happened to be walking right past this pile of boxes that was almost as tall as me. And I'm like, oh yeah, take a look. And it was nuts, right? But we burned all that because none of that's not lasting until the garbage comes.
Right.
None of that.
Right.
The wind's gonna blow all that stuff down the street and everyone's gonna be mad at me. So I'm just gonna burn them.
Yeah, crazy. But yeah, it was a great Christmas, great time. Did you guys play any games or do any things with the family, like a family
That
game?
is a fantastic question. So okay, my son is really Zachary.
Yeah,
He's really into a few things, and when I say really, like really into. Jonathan, what's with all these emojis you're throwing down? I don't know what they all mean. I like them.
He's speaking in emojis today.
I like them. I don't know I don't know how to transcribe it, but all right.
He must have lost a bet or something.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're in here.
He can only speak
so
emojis.
he's really into basketball. He's playing basketball for the first time. He's really into it. Okay. So like everything basketball. He got basketball socks. And like you'd think like they're just freaking socks. This is the coolest socks in the world, Dad. Look at it. It's got basketball on it, Dad. Like, okay.
Right.
Pump the brakes, little buddy. All right. It's still just socks.
Awesome.
But like everything. So we did I got the kids remote control cars. And so yeah, they're outside freezing. And I was just, all right, let's make a jump, Dad. Okay, we'll make a jump. All right. And so we're doing that like it's July. I'm not kidding you. Right. But then I actually got him like a legit basketball hoop. But the way you'll see it one time when you come visit, but there's no space, there's no place where I can actually put a basketball hoop in my driveway or by my garage without like a ball bouncing and breaking a window. Like it's not possible, right? So I got one, and Zachary's like, Dad, you can set it up right now. And I am like, it is 2 degrees outside. I am not doing that. we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait this a little bit. I'm gonna stretch this out until March, but we'll see. But yeah, that's essentially what we're doing. So we had a lot of fun, man. We had eventually we're like, we just got to get the heck out of here. So we got out of the house. Lindsay's not working for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because she's always really busy. So she had this idea. She goes, let's go to Woodfield Mall. Now, every area's got a mall. Now, Woodfield Mall is one of the larger malls in the country. Yeah, I know. It is no Mall of America, but it's pretty big, right? It's really, really big, right? So we go there, and apparently everybody else had the same idea. And I am like, what in the heck is going on? And it's one of those scenarios where you're in the mall and it's super hot.
Yeah.
And then you come to realize the heat's not on. It's just everyone's body temperature. You're like, this is disgusting.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, that's basically what we did. That was like Christmas and the day after, whatnot. But the
That's
food we
cool.
had, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I know I'm rambling and I apologize, but remember when I told you about that charcuterie board that I had?
Yeah.
All that stuff's gone.
Oh, whoa.
I
What?
am all of it's gone. I told
That's
you I am basically in a cheese coma right now, man. You know, people say like, "Oh, I'm in a food coma." No, mine's just straight cheese. All right, I'm goat cheese with fig and honey. All right, I'm all on. I got too much brie in me. Do you know what's real? I'll tell you one that's really good if you ever have one. Shout out to Eric Barnard because he's the one who turned me on to this. All right,
oh.
when from Monroe, Wisconsin. First time I ever had this. Right, Lindbergher cheese. You ever heard of this cheese before?
Yeah, I like Limburger cheese.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
what's the thing about Limburger cheese? Smells
Smells really bad.
disgusting.
Yes.
So it smells so bad. Like, have it, plug your nose. That'll be a good experience. If you whiff anything at any point, you're gonna want to throw up. Right? It smells that bad. But
Right.
yeah. So I saw it at the store. Boom, I had to grab that stuff. So what's happening, Eric? What's happening, Katrina?
We got a coffee cheese.
Coffee cheese?
Yeah, we got one. Yeah. That was a pretty good one. It was different. Wow.
I gotta tell you, after your 47 emojis, you finally hit one
Yeah.
that literally made
Woo.
Jeff and I just stop and
Woo.
start laughing. More of
All right.
that. No, more of that, less of the emojis, brother. That
Woo.
was funny.
All right, on to our first
On to the
Scoopie.
Scoopies now.
Woo. All right. So let's start with the females first. Let's go with the female fighters.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
All right.
So just explain how we're gonna do this.
So we're doing this with the female fighters. We're doing adults, okay, mostly guys. We're gonna have a couple of juniors that we're gonna highlight, but female fighter, the best in our opinion of the year, and then the breakout, the one that stood out.
Yeah.
So while you guys are listening to ours, put yours. Who was someone who broke out?
100%.
All right, and that's true, Sean. I'll tell that story as well. And then the best of the year to us, right? So,
These are to us, like our favorites.
yeah, these are our favorites. Yep. And I may
Which
even
is
add
the
one
only
a little bit
standard
later.
that matters.
All right. So twice this weekend, we got hot chocolate for Coach Cannell Lovelace, right? And for some reason, the first time Sean got it at a Starbucks, but the Starbucks was in the hotel. So maybe we thought, okay, maybe they just do it right. And he was like, that's goat's milk. That's just goat's milk. That's not hot chocolate at all. And he had to spit it out. So the next day, Melina Pecci and I both went. We said we were both going to get hot chocolate. We got the hot chocolate from the exact same Starbucks. She gave it to him first. Great hot chocolate. He drunk mine next. Goat's milk. What is going on?
Know? How does he know this?
I was wondering that too, but he said he knows what goat's milk tastes like. So, he was talking about how he was a hillbilly back in the day or something.
That Connell was a hillbilly?
I don't know. He was telling all kinds of crazy stories, man. It's a fun time, all right? Because him and I just continue to just dig after dig at each other. It's a lot of fun. All right, so female fighter. Let's go with the best first. So, do you want me to share mine? I'll share my female fighter.
You go first, and then I'll do mine.
For me, my best this year was Katana Everett. You know, she really stepped her game up. You know, being on JPM, being that person that found a way to get through someone who was tough to her. You know, with Katarina, and Katarina pushed her to be better. And I tell you what, Katana just kept continually just showed to be not only a great athlete with great movement, but also one of the smarter fighters this year too. You really saw her growth, right? So that was cool. So to me, she's the best this year.
Well, I agree the same. My top female fighter is Katana Everett. I think what's hard about what she did, right, is she stepped her game up. The reason why that's hard to do is because she was already the best at one point, right? So if you were the best, and sometimes it's hard to think you need to change what you need to do, right?
Right.
Like, why do I need to do anything different? Why do I need to do all this? I am what you would call the best,
Right.
right? That's hard to do sometimes, right? Especially if it's like I have no reason to clearly look at my, accolades. But
Correct.
but I like what you said when you said, like, well, essentially what you said is she was just focused on being the better athlete. I think she's the most athletic female fighter there is right now.
Yeah. No, I
I
agree.
don't think there's anybody more athletic than her.
But I also think she got more than just being an athlete. Like, she became one of the smartest fighters in the sport too.
No, my only gripe.
So you must have not listened to me on that one, but it's okay.
Well,
go ahead.
My only gripe, I'm going to say this right now, is when I was reffing her and Katarina at the Diamonds in the finals. That was exhausting. I was running all over the place.
Yeah.
For not a lot of action, a whole lot of movement. And I tried to really make sure I position myself. I hate if an official gives the I couldn't see, I was in the red position. To me, that's inexcusable, right? You have this entire space. Be wherever you need to be so that you can see, right? Sometimes some crazy thing can happen where something just they attack you almost, and it's okay, well then there's no escaping that. But I hustle to make sure that there's no, and I'm hustling and I'm moving and I'm trying to, I don't know which way they're going to go next. So I'm like, where are we going to go? And I'm sweating and they're not.
Right.
My only.
All right. Breakout competitor.
Breakout female fighter.
Yes. This one's hard for me because I think there's several that really broke out.
I know where you're going to go.
And I'm not sure. I think in the past you would think, okay, someone who maybe hasn't been there before or whatnot, right? So I'm gonna go with Mina Aoud, who is a breakout competitor. She's won her division several times this year, and she's pushed to get to that next level. And so I think she's someone that's a breakout competitor to be pushing and get to that point to being in the finals.
Yo, that is I toyed around with picking Yasmina as well. That is a great pick. And I agree with everything you said. I think that she's got the skills.
Yep.
You know what I like about Yasmina is she doesn't have a physical talent or ability that's oh my goodness. There's not one thing that you're anybody watch out for that defensive sidekick. She'll fold you in half.
Right.
And yeah, obviously anybody can develop something like that, but she doesn't have this one thing that she depends on heavily that you have to change your game around. Right. And so many fighters today are like that. We got that they've become more well-rounded. Right. She's just a very good fighter. Right. My pick is, I guess, kind of the opposite of what I just said. Ashley Johnson. Ashley Johnson is all leg. I mean, this one, she does. I don't think she won a division. I'm be honest. I don't think she did. Right. But when she would win fights, and even when she would lose them, she would stress people out, and she would mess people's fighting styles and abilities up to where they had to change everything. She's just going out there being whoever she is. Right. And everybody has to adapt to her because she's just 17-foot legs. Right. And it's okay, what the heck do I do about that? Right. And she hasn't quite figured out exactly how to do it. Yeah. But I remember telling her one time, I was like, hey, let's just think about this for a second, actually. What do you think everybody would want you to do? Do you think they would rather you kick or punch? She was like, I think they'd rather me stop kicking. I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe don't do the thing they want you to do.
Right.
if you voluntarily do the thing they want you to do, like doesn't that kind of like work against you? Right? They don't want you to kick at them more because they're terrified, right? So do more of that thing.
Right.
But it's she hasn't put it together fully yet. I think she totally has the ability to be like I don't want to go to saying like she's gonna be like a divisional, champion next year, but she
Right.
totally could, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna start making claims like that, but
So
I
this is
think
a
that
good
she
one,
turned
Brett.
enough heads to make that a thing.
So Brett had a great one, and I don't know how it slipped me as well, but yeah, I definitely think you have
Paola,
Paola
yeah.
from K-Talk,
Yeah, that's great.
that has
But
made
see,
won some grands. Definitely
now
Peyton.
you can't
Dayton,
save Peyton. Peyton's
Peyton's been out for a
established.
while. Yeah, she's been established. I think that's why just
It's
like
hard to do that.
Yamina, up there, but they're established, right?
Yeah,
But
Peyton is absolutely established.
but yeah, I definitely think she's had just that year of going to that next level for her. So I agree.
Yeah.
Paola, man, she came out of, in a lot of ways nowhere, and has
Yeah,
become
that's a great
a
Paolo's a very good point.
one. And definitely, these girls are ones we've been talking about for years now.
We have been mentioning them.
Bree and Lynn,
And
definitely.
it's like they're a duo almost.
Yeah,
I know they kind of like train together. They're from the same area. They kind of travel together, but it is kind of interesting.
All right, so next one. Let's go.
Let's stay on the women.
All right, so women's forms.
Yeah, let's go women's forms or weapons. Yeah.
Well, I just have it as one. I mean, I only have so many banners I can put up. So, all right. So we're gonna go female forms and female weapons, best in breakout. So, you start first.
Dang it! I had one for each, so now I got to combine. Okay.
What
All
do you
right.
mean?
All right.
No. It's one forms, one weapons. Yeah, it's free. I just
Oh, okay, but you just don't have any. Okay, I got you. Okay, so let's do forms first. Okay,
Yeah.
so my female best for forms. Remember, if you're going down and you're looking at like, let me go look at the NASCAR ratings list. Toss that thing out the window. That's not what I'm looking at. What I look at, what I think, my favorite, right, which is the only thing that matters, right? But I'm gonna go Caitlin Vaughn.
All right. Yeah, I agree with you. That's what I did too. Yeah, I mean, I definitely.
I didn't think we were going to agree on all of these.
Yeah,
I
definitely think she was one of the most consistent. She won a grand in each of them in creative form. She won them in traditional form. She won several Korean challenges. She's made her spot in the night show. So I definitely think, and she continues no matter if she loses, she makes it to where you're like, oh man, it still could have gone her way. And honestly, to me, I'm gonna go right into the breakout one too.
Good.
The breakout one is the other person that's rivaling her for that, especially even in her Korean division, and that's Lily McGuire.
I thought you were going to say that, which is why I did.
Lily McGuire just jumped into this adult division. First one, she goes and wins the Korean Challenge, aka, then wins some grands, along the way, and then is in the finals, wins the traditional grand, the US Open, so I definitely think, to me, those are the two, but there's so many great ones. Like you said, Katie's been there, Rose, Maria, but this is for forms, as far as what I'm doing. I mean, of course you can't not mention Haley and Gabrielle, always in there.
Mm-hmm.
Amber won the US Open, the ISKA. So there's a lot of like the female divisions are stacked and they're fun. So it's exciting to see. There's so many other ones too, but go ahead.
Well, I think you're right on. I think I don't want to go to say like they're stacked, because I think a newcomer could come in and could win.
Yeah, but that's the thing. There's been a lot of first time winners this year.
100%.
So when I'm saying if it's just one person that wins all of it, it hasn't really been like that. It's been
Right.
a lot of different ones throughout. You have the ones that if they're there, they're probably going to win, but
Yep.
there's been some upsets, right? So
So
are we going what weapon, or did you already have a breakout?
I didn't say that. I didn't say my breakout. So my breakout one, I'm putting it because I kind of like what she's done, but I want to see like I know you got more, all right? And that's Melina Pesci, all right?
For
So
form. Okay.
yeah, performs, all right? I actually think she could do a lot more. And I don't want to like
Yeah.
and like say like compare the athleticism. I actually think there's certain little things that if she just did, like her performances are just so much better. I
Yes.
actually
Okay.
believe she's way faster than what she's doing in her forms.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
When you
definitely.
look at that, you're like, you're clearly faster than this. Why are you not doing it? Right. It doesn't make sense sometimes. Right. Like, I actually believe she's more powerful than that. And so it's funny to
No,
me.
she is.
Right. But then you look at the form and you're like, something fell short. You know what I mean? And sometimes I'm looking at it through a filter of you are faster, you are more powerful, right? And that's if you don't add any other athletic movements or athleticism, which everybody should, right?
Right.
Boom, she's already 100% better. I
So
feel.
it's funny because I have her as my breakout for weapons. Okay. So
Oh, interesting.
yeah, because weapons, like to me, that's where she shines. It's her sword, right? I know she's done great in her forms and everything else too, but her sword is where that's really shined. She's won traditional grand. She's been the runner up many times. She's been on stage most of the tournaments this past year. I think except one maybe. And so and she's just grown as a competitor and as a person, So I definitely would have her as my breakout for female weapons. And then
Well, wait, let's think about that. And maybe that's it for her, because there's certain people that are like, I'm a weapons competitor, right?
mm,
I am this, yeah, I do it all, but this is kind of my identity. Like when I used to think about that about Mark Canonizato for so long, I was like, you're a comma guy, you know? But no, he
right.
is an amazing extreme forms martial artist. All right.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
100%. But I just always kind of mentally labeled him as like, you're a comma guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I think his early junior years, he did that to himself as well. He's like, yeah, I think I can win the division, but this is my thing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I get you, and I may go into someone else like that later on when we talk about that. So it's kind of funny.
All right. So
Um,
Melina was your breakout. Should I do
for
my
weapons,
breakout
yeah, do your
for what?
breakout.
So my breakout for weapons is Samantha Middling. Right?
That was my other option. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely,
Um,
definitely.
she's
New to the adults, brand new to the adults as well,
pretty
and
versatile. She's got a lot of
brings
creativity.
exactly brings a different element of bow that we haven't seen in a while, and just a different style, right?
And that's really what we all want. That's what everybody wants. We don't always need difficult. We need different, right?
Yep.
Like, okay. For those of you guys who don't know, spoiler alert, we have an Inside Scoop Fantasy Football League, which for some freaking crazy reason, Jeff is possibly about to win for the 4th year in a row. I can't understand it. But if you remember, Troy mentioned something in the chat, which I'm going to tell you, there should be a waiting list for people who want to be in the league just to be a part of it because of Troy and what he brings
Yeah.
to it. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Shout out
Fun.
Troy. So what Troy Sexton brings up, and he's like, listen, if somebody does an extra half turn on a trick, like it really, it's all the same. I know it's not, and I know it's extremely difficult, but he's right. Like,
Right.
if you are removed from it for a year and you don't see this stuff all the time, and then you see that, it all looks the same, 100%. And
It's just,
so
this year a lot of people hit 4 spins and caught their weapon. Next
it
year it'll be
doesn't
4.5. half. It'll be, you know, but
and it
what else is
won't
there
mean
different?
anything. It
Right.
won't
Right.
mean anything, right? But then you take something like, all right, like what Jackson Rudolph would do when he would catch it and then would end up in that position. You know what I'm talking about? When he would like hold it like that, right?
Right.
That was different. It wasn't crazy difficult, right?
Yeah.
I loved that way more.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people really like Ben Jones, right? Because of that.
Yep. Well, where does he fall from? Right?
Right. Right.
Exactly. So, and I think what Jeff and I are echoing is that we need more creativity, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, man, if we don't start to get a dramatic amount of creativity and we're just, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, like this stuff just gets boring for everyone, right?
Right.
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 Aren't you embarrassed? Aren't you bored? Come on.
All right. The best now for female weapons.
Go for it.
I'm gonna go with the obvious choice on this. I'm gonna go with Haley Glass. So, I still feel like it's now, especially since they broke up the traditional and the traditional and the open. Now it's like, hey, she can win 2. She can win 3 grands now per tournament, which sometimes she has, right? And so I still think, it's just she's that one that continues to put the level here and everyone has to come up to reach it. So, yeah, but are there some other people that are trying and pushing? Yeah, definitely. And I'm excited to see it. There's a lot of, I tell you, man, I mean, Diamonds was exciting with some of the different faces that won the division, and of course you had Sammy there, her last time, she's done. You had Andrea Guzman who won. You had, someone who's been on that door, like knocking, Sarah. I mean, it's been great. So, all right, who was your best?
Haley Glass.
Haley Glass.
100%. But that's the thing, is like, you got to look at that and go, yeah, she didn't do as many competitions as everybody else.
Right.
But when she walks in the room, she doesn't have to look at a single person and everyone's looking at her.
Right.
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 Everyone's looking at her, and everyone who's in her division looks at her and already is like, oh, what am I going to do now? Because
Right.
And ultimately, really, here's the thing. I could have said Haley for Forms 2. I absolutely could have.
Right.
I just really like what Caitlin's done. I like what Caitlin Vaughn has done this year. I think she's been fantastic, right?
Right.
But I could have said Haley for Forms 2, right? And for the exact same reasons, right? She walks in and everybody else goes, damn, what the hell now, right?
Yeah.
And there has been people like that over the years, right? When John Valera would walk in the room.
Right.
Yeah. Caitlin Deschelle, 100%. Yeah. Caitlin Deschelle. When she walks in a room, you're like, okay, well, this is kind of over. All right. Yeah. But that's where Haley Glass is right now.
Yep.
It's Haley Glass. So.
All right. So, we're going to go fighter or forms. Which one for male?
Let's go fighter.
Okay. All right. So male fighter, best and breakout. So can I have a tie?
What?
Have a tie for best.
The same person? Oh, tie for best.
Yeah.
No, because I struggled over that too. You say no. List your best and then say who your alternate was.
Well, my best is Bailey Murphy. I mean, he's the best in the world right now.
Yes.
But I have to put right there, if he did more tournaments, if he, Avery Plowden, like
100%.
How can someone who does this part-time, really, even though he trains his ass off all the time, while he's a full-time lawyer, does all kinds of things, and then he's right there with him, right? But the year,
100%.
This is the year that Bailey showed that he is the best no matter what, because he didn't just win here like he has been the past 3 or 4 years. He won everything, in Europe, and he was beating the guys that were beating him or were right there, like, again, for a while, it was like, okay, it's him, but Ricardo has beaten him a couple times or this or that. And then now it's like, nope, I'm here. Ricardo, Enrique are here, and so to me, it's Bailey, but I got to put right there, you know, um, I
Champ.
can't
You
have
got
it
to put Champ right there.
without
Right?
mentioning, Avery Platten. So
I 100% agree with you for the same reasons you said, and I did look at that and go, yeah, but look at Champ, right? That's just what I call him, right?
yeah,
And then I had to come to this and I go, am I really about to say that anyone other than Bailey Murphy was not the best fighter this year? I mean, I can't with any kind of integrity say that. But I am about to mention the man's name because for everything that you just said, yeah. But you when you look at his performances, all right, he is kind of what Nico was saying when he was on like a couple weeks ago. He's just full of muscle. Like,
right.
can you might want to stop a little bit, right, before someone gets you tested for HGH, right? Dude came in as a light middleweight.
Right.
That is not the case anymore. And he still probably has 5% body fat maximum,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So it's just nuts. And here's
it is nuts.
He's developed more skills, right? More skills, but he's not wasting moves, right?
Correct.
So like Jody used to be a critic on me, and fighters like me or like Jason Borelli, and we're like you throwing all these kicks just to get someone in the corner and land one, like you just wasting a bunch of kicks. And
Right.
I disagreed with him when I said all of those kicks were for a reason, were so that I could put him there, and then I could do that. But that's not how Avery does it. Avery's just he's a one shot, one kill type of guy. And then you look at that, and when you fight someone who's like that, it's demoralizing.
Yeah.
It is demoralizing when you put up all this work. You got to do all this fake, you got all this moving, you got to do all this pumping, and you got to cut, you got to come back, and you're trying to get them into something, and they do one shot and they score, and you're like, ah! And you're exhausted. You're exhausted, right? Because you're trying to get them out of their game, and you just can't do it, right? So,
yeah, exactly. I mean, we'll get to that on another episode there, Brett.
Brett, you're not wrong, but
right,
I think when we're talking about best ever, here's the thing about that. Let's just talk because you just brought up. Whoa.
Yes, we're already at 47 minutes.
We're gonna be all right. When Bailey voluntarily says, "Hey, I'm at the Diamonds. I'm not going to compete in my division. All right, I want to let some of my other guys compete," and he goes, "I'm not worried about the ring count. I've got so many more years of doing this." Right? That's where you go, well, let's not do this stacking up just quite yet. This guy, he's thinking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rings down the road. Right? So
yeah, he could. I mean, will he? I'm not sure. I've talked to him a bunch about certain things. I mean, he looks at a certain amount of time he has, right? But I don't know, man. He's right. Bailey Murphy. All right, breakout.
You're about to like my next ones. Well, let's do breakouts and then best for these ones, okay?
No. We're still on male fighter, buddy. We haven't done breakout male fighter.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. So this is why I'm telling you to shut up because, we can still got a lot.
Fair enough.
All right. I actually think yours and mine are the same. My breakout fighter is Mason Bumba. So, yeah. Same?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But it was hard. It was hard to land on that, though. It was. Yeah, I honestly wanted to say Devin Hopper, right? But you can't say Devin Hopper's a breakout. The guy's been around for a decade almost.
Right, but I feel like last year was probably his breakout year, So, I think, to me, last year was his breakout year, Devin Hopper. This year, Mason just stepped up. Some people may not like his style, but this guy's got talent. This guy is a killer. He's got that intensity, and he brings something different to the sport right now, man. So,
Dude, he
and just
reminds
talk about his athletic ability, how much athletic ability he has, and he probably doesn't even use 10% of it, you know?
So he reminds me a lot of the way that he fights. He reminds me of Ross Cook. And Ross would tell you Mason's way more athletic, right?
Right.
What you hating on my shirt for? This is my third shift DJ's shirt, Troy. You hating on this? Come on, get somebody.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a beast. All right, so we both had that one. All right.
We both had that. We're almost right on without knowing it. Okay, let's go to the. Let's do the for the next two. Let's do the breakouts before the.
Yeah, so we got male forms and male weapons. All right. So, which one do I want? You know, what, I'm gonna go weapons. No,
Okay.
no, no, no. No.
Yeah, let's do weapons first. Let's
All
do
right, let's
weapons
do
first.
weapons first.
I'd like to do it that way.
So breakout, the one I chose is actually very different because it's someone who's been around for a very long time,
Oh, interesting.
but chose to go like a full season of NASCAR for the first time ever. He was on our show and he was a senior. And that's Tim Conkle because he broke out and won, you know, he won 10 senior overalls this year. I think I got 6, so I was a long way behind him. But he got 10 of those this year. He competed in the 18 plus and he competed in the 30 plus, but he also won the first ever ISKA, you know, senior title for weapons. So I'm gonna put Tim as a breakout.
I thought about this.
Yeah.
But I kind of went with the same thing, like not really break out. Tim Conkle's been established. So that was the only reason. That was the only reason I didn't do that, right? But I did look at that and I'm like, man, this guy's been having some activity.
Right.
My breakout fighter for weapons is the same for it. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. My breakout competitor for weapons is the same for forms. All right.
Okay.
It's the same guy. And that's Philip Brumet.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
But you know, here's the thing. Let's say I said Dawson Holt. You go, okay, maybe, right? You'd say maybe, right? If I said Ben Jones, you go, okay, maybe, all right. And the only reason I'm saying that is because damn, that division is that the whole these guys, I hope none of them go inactive. I hope they all just keep battling each other.
Right.
Because this year was fantastic because
right.
so many of them won, right? And then I'm sure you get one tournament like Esteban Tremblay had where you just like, boom, I just won everything, guys. Back up.
Right.
Next month, one of you guys is going to have to step it up, but not today. Sure. That's super cool. And that's what we need more of, right? I thought Philip Brumet. He's just kind of what I liked, you know. That's kind of where I was at.
And I was hoping you'd say him because you know, I think he's that next guy. You know, I think he's the guy. He already has stepped up, and now it's time. I know from talking to him, I know his goals. I know what he wants, and you know, he wants to show he's the best. So, all right. So I said breakout Tim. You said
breakout Philip.
Sorry, Philip for both of them. So I'm going to go the best for weapons for me. It's Dawson Holt. So for me, he was my best for this year because traditional weapons, open weapons, and he also had some of the more creative and standout forms that I saw this year besides Philip and Esteban. So when he did step up and do, you know, open hand forms. So to me, you know, and then just the performance he had at Quebec, performance he had at Diamonds. And again, I still think his traditional weapons gets looked over a lot of times too. So I think Dawson is, you know, is the best for me. We're talking about best now, Drew. So
mine is probably going to surprise you because best/favorite men's weapons, Alex Mencius.
Wow. Okay, I did.
I know you didn't. All right. I know probably no one would have, but I like his comma style. I like it.
Okay.
I really
Okay.
do. I'd like to see him win some more, right? Because imagine one tournament he comes out and just like, bam, right? Now he wins the weapons overall. That just throws a wrench into everyone's plans now, right?
Right.
I mean, even on Team JPM, they would be like, wait a minute, this is not supposed to happen. You're supposed to be our fighter who's just really good at that stuff. You're not supposed to actually beat those other guys. Hang on now. Hang on. Right? Right though?
Right. You're right.
You're supposed to donate. You're supposed to donate time and energy. All right. But he can. All right. He absolutely can. Drew, you're right. Ben Jones, Esteban. I could have said any of those guys. Right. And I really thought about both of them, but I really went with I just went with favorite. Right. And I like that style. And if anybody's listened to the show enough times, you know I love me some Ben Jones. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. But I just went a little different this time. Alex Mencius.
All right. So male forms breakout.
I already said Philip Brumet. Philip Brumet. He's my breakout for forms as well. Okay.
Okay. So my breakout is Luca Ricotta. So
okay.
This guy has, moved up early to the adults, and he started pushing for grands and for that division, which again, the division is stacked with Diego, Cameron, Mason, Caio, himself. And, he won several adult traditional forms grand championships. So, and he's continued to compete outside of NASCA as well. And, he was one of those competitors that was down there at that camp in Miami. So I think Luca is one of those guys who had a breakout year. And again, guys, when I'm saying breakout, they had 2024 was their breakout year. Not mean they're about to break out next year.
Yeah, we got a different predictions that are
like I still think Drew, like Jack has a long way to he can, but he hasn't broke out yet.
Yeah.
He's got to show up more. He's got to, and does he have the talent? Yeah. I mean, I love that kid, but I want to see him more, So, so we both said breakout. All right.
Yep. Who's your best?
Best this year. I mean, I have to put Esteban. Just the domination, the tournaments where he just does a demo or just shows up and accepts the award. Yep, Chamarica as well. So I think Esteban is up there. I would say the only other person that I would say up there as far as the best would be a Mason Stowell.
Mason Stowell. That's a good point.
So, but Esteban competed almost every tournament this year, so we got to see that more, so.
But you'd also say Mason Stowell because of what Mason Stowell's done in the WKF as well. I'm assuming if you were to.
Yes. I mean, I don't know if he was as active as he was the year before, but I definitely think just when he shows up, it's a whole nother level. Right.
100%.
And this year he was more successful. Like at the battle, Caio was there this time. The year before, Caio beat Mason at Rhode Island, right?
Which is nutty to me. It's crazy. Awesome, but nutty.
That was the only time that we saw him in 2023. 2024, Mason beat him in both at the battle. So, I feel like he needed that win back, and very consistent. I think the only thing he didn't win this year was the Warrior Cup, and he won it the year before. So, but yeah, so Esteban to me, right there, right underneath would be Mason. So,
who do you think my best for the year is?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not going there. I guess I would say Esteban.
Ladies and gentlemen, my Scoopie Award for men's forms goes to the one and only Jeff Doss.
I knew that was coming, actually. All right.
But I want to explain. I'm a homer for Jeff Doss, but let me explain. Okay. But let's go. I kind of prefaced it
Yeah.
with, if you were going to say Mason, you'd say Mason because of what he's been able to do in the WKF.
Right.
Homie, what you've done with the AAU, and it's not just like what your performances have been, but it's like the way they have like gravitated towards you and have really been like, man, you got something we want.
Right.
Help us be like you, right? Help us improve ourselves. What can we do, right? And I feel like, what did they say? What's the proverb? Like, a prophet's never welcome in his hometown, right? It's something to that extent.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that hometown for you right now is NASCA, man. Doesn't that suck to
Oh,
say?
yeah. Yeah. No, I've yeah.
It sucks. It sucks for it to
Yeah.
be a reality, but it's almost like sometimes they're not gonna get and realize what they had until it's not there. But you're too good of a guy to go away.
Well, I did for a while, and I think that's kind of why I you may
Why you
think
get some
yeah,
of the why you get some of the shade you do, which is totally
yeah.
nutty.
I mean,
Because you were at that time, before you were like, oh, I'm just gonna go step away and go do this other thing for a while. You had like a cool level where it was like, boom, you were your cool level was up there with like Butch Marks and David Douglas.
okay.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yes,
That's
it
cool.
was. Right. And then when you came back, like, I don't know what it was, right? Like when you came back and
Thank
all
you,
of a
Jay. I
sudden
appreciate that.
people were like, what? I, I just didn't get it. Like, because if you looked at the performances, right? Like, this doesn't make sense. This placing doesn't make any sense now, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's why I actually feel like for the judges' trainings, right? I think we should be able to look at like film and go, boom, real time. What should that score have been? Oh, I called 1 point this way. Well, you're wrong. That's a bad call. That
Right.
should not be what the score should be. This person should get that point, and it should be because of this. Right. Well, that's what I saw. Well, we all have two eyes here. Right.
Yeah.
You saw wrong. That's the wrong call to make. We should be able to do the same thing with forms. We should
Mhm.
be able to go, this form is objectively better than that one. Right. If you go, well, I just like this more, then you go, oh, I understand now. You
Yeah.
have a personal bias, because the moment you say, well, I just like, now
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
your own personal opinion. And if it's
Exactly.
just your personal opinion, well, then now you're putting yourself above what should be the end result. I saw,
Right.
I think should never come out of your mouth.
Correct. Well, and I think too many times, we see that a lot. I'm just going to tell you because I mean, the senior grand is like that, traditional open
Mm-hmm.
against each other. And honestly, even in the night show for the juniors, you having traditional versus open. Sometimes you can tell, okay, well, today all of the traditional forms have won,
Yeah, which
Well,
is crazy.
next
And I
week
can see like,
all the traditional weapons will win. The next week only the extreme weapons will, like, and you see it and it's more of a, this is what we like. This is what, instead of, how to
what's
really
best.
judge it. Have some criteria, right? So I think that will help the sport, And again, guys, we're not trying to bash the sport. We're trying to
No,
truthfully, if anyone loves the sport
they're
or is trying
saying
to help the
something.
sport, it's us. Like, no, I'm not going to be like, we love it more than anybody, but we got to be at least in the top, 3%?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
listen, the people that hate the sport, you know who they are? Neither do I,
Yeah.
because they're gone,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
So it's easy to tell who doesn't. Well, I should actually say it's easy to tell who loves the sport, right?
Right.
Because you hear them. Hi, all right?
Right. We
But
again, 5.5 years of us doing this on our own just because we love it, right?
what Obeda said though. But
Yeah.
Obeda, I don't like that. I don't like that
I
stance
know.
though. That there should be an objective, Obeda. And
No,
this is
he's just saying that
Obeda is the perfect
that's
person to have this conversation with. It absolutely is. But Obeda, we should be able to look at that. All
No,
right.
but he's saying there isn't one set. You're forgetting the last word. He's not saying you can't be objective or it can't be an objective thing.
Or am I
He's
just
saying
getting
there's
the meaning
no
wrong?
objective score set. Therefore, judging will be subjective because right now it's still a ranking
Okay.
system. It's not a scoring. There's no scoring going on. So, like if we were
Yeah, I see what you're
gymnastics
saying now.
or
Okay.
if
All
we were
right.
gymnastics or figure skating or something, then they would have that, right? I think even even I think the taekwondo, the karate, all those have that, right? At that other level, the wushu tournaments have that. So, oh, here we go. So yeah, all right.
That was a good one, man.
What was a good what?
It's a good ranking that we just did right now.
Oh, yeah. You just zoned out for a little bit. I didn't know what was going on.
Well, no,
right,
I had insiders texting me is what I had.
Oh, all right. So here's the last thing. Just some things that we want to mention. For me, I'm going to mention 2 juniors that I think had great years. And then we're going to mention a team that stood out to me, and then a coach that broke out to me. So to me, 2 junior. I have to give it to Amanda Duarte, who won a grand championship at every tournament she went to, an overall grand. And she still has one more year in the 12-13. So excited to see her continue to grow and get better. And then the other person, it's hard not to mention Judah Sagawa, just because he's just a phenomenal competitor, and it's exciting to see. Are there so many great juniors that had big years? Yeah, I definitely do. But I definitely think so. But we could mention a bunch of them, and maybe we will in another episode,
Yeah, there's a bunch of juniors that I could mention, and we don't really mention a lot of juniors. Not because we don't like them, but because the adults, that's where the time to shine is at. And we want everyone to get there at one point and compete at the highest level. That's why. Okay. I think, and I forget his last name, but Sebastian, the junior fighter on JPM. What is his last name? I know it.
I don't know. Yeah.
But kid is smooth. Kid is cool. I really like his style. Another junior that I think is fantastic is he's on Team ATL's name's Tayden. Right?
Yeah.
He's incredibly talented, talented, right?
Correct.
And that's another one where he's incredibly Villanueva. You're right. Thanks. Yeah. All right. He's so talented, and a lot of his fights, he's just been resting on that he's so much more talented than the other fighter. And yeah, why wouldn't you? If you were a foot taller than everyone in basketball, you would go, why would I try and cross you up? I'm just going to put my hand way up here, and you're going to throw the ball up here. There's nothing anybody can do about it. Why would I do that? That doesn't make any sense, right? And at this point,
I would have chalked up a 3 when I'm 7'4". Oh wait, never mind. Go ahead.
Trust me.
Mhm.
Yes, it's dumb. Doesn't mean that they are still better this year, but whatever. Another one, and I'm blanking his last name again, is from G3. His name's Caesar. I like that kid.
Yeah. I think he's a good kid. Yeah, he's a good
All right.
kid. All right. A team. Honestly, it's funny as I'm seeing them right now on my other screen as the 2023 battle is on there. But I gotta say, the team that stood out to me, that broke out to me, that kind of just made a splash, was Top 10 USA with their
Interesting.
their merger with the Hungarians, and I think that really changed the game for a little bit when they showed up. And yeah, man, it made team fighting even more exciting than it already was, because now it's not just the JPM straight up battle. Now you also add them in the mix, and they won several times this year, and they definitely were up there. So that was fun to me to see. And what's exciting about that is that you get to see people from completely different backgrounds fight together.
100%. Which is always funny to me.
Ty fight with Martin Bellant, like that's crazy, right? So I definitely think that's a team that just broke out to me. That is exciting to really just see. Of course, we got the JPMs, the straight ups, the revolutions, the CEs. I mean, there's so many teams that have made big impacts, K-Talk and stuff. But I just feel like that made just changed it up a little bit. So, all right. What about you? Do you have one?
I do. So for team, I kicked. So many of the teams are really good right now. In JPM definitely stepped it up.
Yeah.
I thought the two teams I was kicking around wasn't top 10 USA, although I thought that's an interesting pick. For me, it's almost a coin flip between G3 and straight up. And listen, even if you take the best fighter in the world off a straight up, they're not just a really good team, they're an exciting team. They're exciting. They're fun to watch. You know when you got that, sports, whether it's a basketball team, it's a football team, or it's a baseball team, whatever it may be, and you take that MVP player off the team and you're like, what the hell are they gonna do now? Right?
Yeah.
But or when you put the backup in there and they're just make it exciting. They're still exciting. You're like, well, this is really fun to watch. That's straight up, right? Even when you take their best fighter off the team, they're still exciting. They're still super fun, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's really a coin flip between them and G3. G3, does Brian Rodriguez age?
That's true. No.
I feel like he still thinks it's 2017, right?
Right.
And you're like, Brian, it's time to come out of this time machine. It's time when you want to let the rest of us in here on this fountain of youth. Your metabolism is increasing, by the way, while the rest of ours is slowing down. What's going on? As I ate 14 pounds of cheese. Guarantee you, Brian Rodriguez didn't eat 14 pounds of cheese. I'll tell you that.
$300 worth of cheese.
Which is nutty to say, but it was the truth.
Yeah. All right. Is there a coach that maybe stood out to you, or maybe that broke out, like a breakout? You know what I mean? Someone that, not mean they're the best, but someone that maybe stood out that we weren't talking about before.
I actually think this person was the best this year, though, and that's Damian Rodriguez. I think he did have a breakout. And that's not to say that, like, all right, Damian wasn't a fantastic coach last year and 3, 4, 5, 6 years before that.
Right.
I think he was the best coach this year. I think he was, and you know what? The reason why Damian's so good is because it's not just his dual language, because he could speak both Spanish and English very well. Like if he was coaching me, no problem.
Yeah.
Right. And if he's coaching somebody else who does not speak English the same, right? Obviously he has no problem. All right. So that's not easy to be able to do, right? That's him. But boom, Drew, you hit it right there. He cares, right? And he's not the same type of coach, but it does remind me a little bit of Coach. Mm-hmm. Does remind me a little bit of Conroy. Right. And they're not all even close to the same personality, but in the sense that, right, like you feel the passion coming out. And I don't just mean by yelling, because he's not a yeller, right? But he's smart. He's been a champion. He knows what to do. He's just a really, really smart fighter and coach. So there's not a lot he doesn't know about, right? He knows everyone, right? He knows every junior. He knows everybody, right? So
right.
I would say he's my coach of the year. What about you?
So I went a different way. I think so I went Vince Little. So Vince Little,
okay.
This year it's mostly been him at most of the events. Derek hasn't been there as many, and Vince is just, that guy's a fun guy, right? And I feel like his energy that he brings is infectious, and it goes to his competitors. And you know what? They've stepped up and done a great job. You know, so I feel like to me, he's someone that broke out this year and really, stood up and just propelled his team to the next level. A lot of guys had great years this year, and either were from his school or people that he's coaching. So, want to show him some love. So,
Shout out Vince.
yeah, shout out Vince. Some of the other guys, of course, Cannell Lovelace has been a great coach this year, a great team manager, team owner.
He does so much. He doesn't sit in the coach's chair as much, but he does.
Yeah, and he's a really great coach too. A lot of fun. Yeah, and he does know his stuff. You're right, Leandro. Yeah, Vince is great. He knows his stuff. Right. Let's see. We have Straight Up. We got the new Revolution Europe coming up, so that's going to be exciting. Lots of new things coming up in 2025. Yeah.
Dude,
So
I gotta tell you about something else, right?
okay,
So
do that before we finish up.
Lindsay went like above and beyond this year, right? Have you ever
Oh.
noticed my gold watch that I have every now and then? I don't know if you've ever noticed this, right?
Through that, Leandro, he's different.
So she got me. I'm gonna brag on her for a little bit. She got me a new gold watch, right?
Oh, man, look at
The watch that she gave me, the watch that I have, right, is the one she gave me on our wedding day, right? So that was 11 years ago. I still get compliments on that watch, right? Get that thing clean, getting battery in it all the time. I love that thing, right? She upped it by like twice the value, and I'm like, I'm not gonna wear this thing every day, but I'm wearing it right now because I love it. Right? She's amazing, right?
That's awesome.
But
That's
she also got me this. She got me an autographed Anthony Edwards jersey.
Dang.
Right? Shut up. Right?
That's
so
cool.
I start thinking, and so then she says, "Hey, maybe you put it downstairs where you do the podcast." And I'm like, you know what? I have a lot of sports memorabilia I didn't really think about. Because I never was really a sports memorabilia guy, right? Did I ever tell you about my Ricky Rubio jersey? Did I ever tell you about that? I'll tell you. I'll make it quick.
No.
So my mom is a photo stylist, all right? So she's on that side of the camera, okay? So she's doing this photo shoot with Ricky Rubio, right? So my mom obviously knows I'm a T-Wolves fan, right? And this is when he's in Minnesota. So my mom goes out, buys a number 9 Ricky Rubio jersey and goes, "Ricky, my son Alex." And he goes, "Don't worry about it. What's his name?" Alex. So he personalizes the jersey to me, right?
Yeah.
Now that's freaking cool right there. You know what I mean? So he personalizes it, puts my name, signs it. So I got that. Now I got my Edwards jersey. It's really cool. I've got a pair. Did I ever tell you about my Kevin Garnett shoes?
Yes.
I got the shoes, and I got an autographed T-Wolves ball. I got some stuff. But
Listen.
But
you don't
the Karate Kid.
That's cool.
That Karate Kid one.
I don't think you're going to beat Cannell's. You need to just go and visit Cannell and go down to his basement. Okay.
Does he have
Dude.
a samurai sword with Randy Jackson's signature on
it? I don't think he has that, but
that was cool.
He's got some signed autograph Mike Tyson gloves.
He strikes me as a guy who would have all of that.
He's got all this limited
do that yet.
Star Wars stuff.
You know why I can't though? You know why I can't do that?
He's got lion stuff. What?
Because on the table where I'm doing, where my lamp, where my camera and everything's on, there's a puzzle underneath this. Right.
No, I know.
I got Velcro bean bags over here, right? I got a rubber duck right to my left over here. I got Nerf guns to my right. I can't afford to have stuff like that around here, right?
Dude, I'm trying to figure out where to put all of my autographs and pictures I got from all the, like wrestlers and stuff. Like, where am I
right there on that wall?
Yeah, but this is like my school. Like, why would I? put all that there?
It's exactly why you put it there. Think about it. Think about it. Connell, jump in and tell me what your thoughts are. No, I do not have an autographed Adrian Peterson jersey. That would be the bomb. If I could ever get that, that would be it.
I think he does. I think he does. I think yeah.
Oh, that Connell does?
No, I think Leandro does.
He does? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, here's why you put it. Here's why you put that stuff in your school, right? William Hill, right? Sometimes I bet some people know who he is now, right?
Yep.
I was lucky enough that at one point he and I were classmates. Then at one point later, he was actually the one to tie my first black belt on me, right? He's a very wise man, all right?
Yeah, he is.
One
of my favorite judges.
He had in his office tons of autographed, like legit stuff, like Randy Moss autographed pictures and things like really freaking cool, right? To the point where you're in the office and you're like, whoa, this is so cool. And he goes, I know. Guilty by association, right? And I'm like, the heck are you talking about? And he goes, all of this is cool. I'm guilty by association. If I hung out with a bunch of bums, you'd think I was a bum too, because I'd be guilty by association. I have all this cool around me. I'm guilty by association. And I'm like, that's brilliant. You should do it. You should do it.
All right, I got a lot of stuff, so yeah.
That's where you put it.
I know. I mean, I also haven't put like my latest like NASCAR titles or any of that stuff.
Do that, and then actually do the pod like facing that way. That way it faces the other way. That way we can see it all the time, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this
right now, all you do is you see this. So I don't think people realize. I got a Matt Blair autographed picture here that he actually handed this to me. That was freaking cool, right? And yeah, I got the Chris Carter one back here. I got the pennant over here. But here's something. I'm going to show you this. I don't think anybody ever sees this.
Yo, you're
above the pennant. How freaking cool is that? How freaking cool is that? Right?
I remember that because you've had that. Actually, I just remember the first few shows we did. That was right there.
Yeah, it's always been there. I just because I probably did it from my phone down here, so it was going going up.
Right.
Oh man, what a great show.
This was a great show. This definitely was a great show. There was something else I was going to add, but I don't remember now. So yeah, you were talking about what she got you. So Shelly, for my birthday, got us dance lessons. Okay, so we're gonna do.
This is great. Did I ever? I told you, Lindsay and I did this, right?
Yeah. So we're gonna do it. So she's got it set up where we can do it in person somewhere, but we're also gonna be doing online through a program as well on our own, and then go somewhere. But see, we don't have that many places that have the option. So it can only be like a once a month thing in person or at the places that we have because they just don't have like a full on class for adults. And time out.
Wait. But can't you do like one-on-ones?
Yeah, but dude, I run a martial arts school. What time are all their classes? The same time that I'm running my martial arts classes.
100%.
Right.
When we did our one-on-ones, when we did them like Wednesday at like 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I have a class.
Okay, come on now. Wednesday at 11 a.m.?
Yeah.
What kind of weird karate school are you running?
Plus, I'm kind of busy with, how many online private lessons I do too, and seminars I do. So they're all during the day. So yeah, that's.
What's your New Year's plans?
Hopefully sleep.
Get out of here.
I just had a 12-hour, trip. I'm here with you until 11 p.m. Tomorrow I did camp instead of go to the gym, so I got to catch back up with that. So, listen, we got Warrior Cup in 3 weeks and less than 3 weeks. So,
but you didn't answer my question. Even at home, you got to do something.
Yeah, I'm boring, bro. Listen. There's no more Super Grands anymore. There's no more Super Grands anymore. All right. When it was Super Grands, man, I was out till 4 or 5 in the morning.
Nobody said you got to be out till 4 in the morning. Nobody said you had to go out.
Just saying. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
Listen,
Al?
Linda,
What am I gonna do?
listen,
Yeah,
Linda.
listen, go fishing.
Go fishing. That actually is a great idea.
Oh, it's cold, man.
Hey, Abeda, real quick. How far is Avon from you? Not Avalon Park. How far is Avon from you? All right. I need to know that.
Ask me this every time he comments on the show.
I don't
think-
remember if I do. But
think you
anyway, okay, so listen, this year,
What are you gonna do?
first
Florida would be fun.
that could be cool. 3 hours. Never mind then. It's not where I thought it was. First year in a long time, I'm not DJing anything. Right. I got my guy Jason. He's DJing wedding tomorrow night, which is so crazy. Listen to this. Their ceremony doesn't start till 7:30 p.m. Right?
Yeah.
Their ceremony doesn't start till 7:30 p.m. Then they got an hour cocktail hour. Then they've got dinner, and then they're gonna dance till like 2 or 3. How crazy is that? Right?
Wow.
Well, yeah, that's Jason's got that. He's got it handled. That guy's he's a fantastic mixer, right? So, yeah, I'm home, man. I'm gonna set the gear up. I got stuff coming. We're gonna be partying.
You're gonna have people over. Have that big party like you had that one year.
When I say party, I mean the 5 of us.
Nice. I like that. That's
I
fun.
don't mean no.
That's good.
We've had many parties. Although I will tell you, when we do our summer party, you got to come through, but you might be getting married at the same time. So I don't know. We got to figure this out. That I'm telling you, the rest of my summer really is in limbo
because of me.
Yes. I've already told you the date. I'm not about to blast it, right? I've already told you what the date is. We're gonna leave it at that. But no, yeah, when we do parties, we don't go small. We usually do like it's like 100, it's like 80 to like 115, somewhere in there that we have in my house.
Shelly and I will do some. It's just us two. So the rest of the family is up in Vermont. So, and then I mean my parents and my brother. I don't know what they'll do, but yeah, us two we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. All right, man.
We got the Lions and the Niners. It's a 3-point game right now. If these Niners,
hey, time out, guys. You didn't share it with everyone. You know, our epic battle that happened this week.
Hang on, let me get to that one. But I'm gonna tell you, if the Niners can beat the Lions, if they can pull off this fourth quarter win, the Vikings will be in sole first place of not just the division, but the NFC. Boom! Skull Vikes, right, Leandro? Let's get it.
Wow. That's fun.
Now you beating me in fantasy basketball is atrocious. Because this is you didn't want to do it. You joined that league kicking and screaming. Right?
It's true. It's true.
Kicking and screaming, and then
I'm whooping
you figured out the cheat code like that. Like, oh, what if I just do this every time? I'm like, damn it, you figured it out.
Yeah, I figured it out. And at B West, so I was sharing with one of the campers about how I'm doing fantasy football and I'm really good with this one league. I think I'm about to win I didn't do too well in my dynasty league, but I just won the best of the worst. So I'm going to get the number 1 pick next year. So that's, so I just had some bad luck on certain things, but so now, I'm hopefully pull this one off, and win this 4th championship in football. And, you and I are going to have some battles in this fantasy basketball thing, man. But
in my defense, Giannis was out all week.
I know, but
dude, who's your guy?
I haven't had Booker either. He's been out the whole time.
He's not a 1st round pick though.
He's my 2nd round. No, he's my 2nd. My 1st round is Wemby. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was my last person to play, and so it was like, oh, yeah, we're already tied right now, and I still had Wemby to go, yeah, I'm winning this. But yeah, so, and you know what? Angel's a lot better at this than he was at fantasy football. So good for him. All right. Alex is zoned out. All right, guys.
No, I was getting more insiders reaching out to me.
Awesome. All right, guys. We'll have some big things next week. We also have different people reaching out to us about their tournaments for this year. So we're going to be spreading some more news about that. And
we gotta get, you know what we really gotta do, guys. Jeff, we gotta get one of our guests on for next week. That's what we gotta do.
Yeah, we gotta get a guest on next week. So
we got a list. It's long.
We got a list in the comments right now. Who do you want to? Who's some suggestions? What?
Yeah, that's a great one. Like, who would you guys want to see on the show? I don't think we've ever asked the insiders.
I think we have. We've done it like in our year anniversaries and things like that.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. You have a short memory. It's okay. Oh man, Jerry Gross. Yeah. You would, yeah. Oh God, don't get me started. That would be a fun one.
Great to meet you, Jerry.
This is Alice. Alice Gross is dead. Okay, you don't know. Yeah, great dude. All right.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week.